Welcome! Are you ready for a scary story? This is actually a cautionary story told for centuries to children, especially those who wander from the safety of their home and parents. It's a sad tale indeed, but it lives strong in the memories of those who swear that it's a, get this, true story. It's the story of La Llorona, the weeping woman, and was first told long, long ago in a small village in Mexico. Now it's a popular story told throughout the Southwest. Some who tell the tale of La Llorona claim to have seen her ghost. Sightings have been reported in New Mexico, Arizona, and here in California. One of the most popular sightings was at the very haunted Agua Mansa Cemetery in Colton. And yes, she's been sighted on our beaches and right here in Balboa Park. I first heard the story of the Weeping Woman by Santa Fe, New Mexico's favorite storyteller, Joe Hayes. And it goes something like this. Many, many years ago, in a humble little village, there lived a fine-looking girl named Maria. Some say she was the most beautiful girl in the world. And because she was so beautiful, Maria thought she was better than everyone else. As Maria grew older, her beauty increased, and her pride in her beauty grew too. When she was a young woman, she paid no attention to the young men from her village. They just weren't good enough for Maria. When I married, Maria said, I will marry the most handsome man in the world. And then one day, into Maria's village rode a man on a horse who seemed to be just the one she had been dreaming of. He was a dashing young ranchero, the son of a wealthy rancher from the southern plains. He would ride like a Comanche. In fact, once his horse was tamed, he would give it away and go rope and calm a new wild horse from the plains. He didn't think it manly to ride a horse if it wasn't half wild. The young ranchero was charming, brave, and very, very handsome. And he played guitar and sang with a voice that could surely steal the heart of any woman. Maria made up her mind that the young ranchero was indeed the only man to win her heart. And Maria knew every trick to catch his attention. If the ranchero spoke when they met on the pathway, she would turn her head away. When he came to her house in the evening to play his guitar and serenade her, she would not go to the window. And she refused all of his gifts. The young man fell for her tricks. That haughty girl, Maria, he said to himself. I know I can win her heart. I swear I will marry that girl. And so everything happened as Maria planned. Before long, she and the ranchero became engaged. Soon they were married and began a family. At first, things were fine. They had 2 beautiful children. It seemed they were living a happily ever after story. Then, one day, when the children were about 7 and 9 years old, Maria's husband decided he loved his children, but missed his wild life on the prairie. And so it began. He would leave town and return to the prairie for days and months at a time. And when he returned home, it was only to see his beloved children. He seemed to care nothing for his wife, Maria. He even talked of setting Maria aside and marrying a woman of his own wealthy class. As proud as Maria was, of course she became very angry with the ranchero. And her anger didn't stop with her husband. She began to feel anger and resentment towards her children as he only paid attention to them, and Maria felt invisible. One evening, as Maria was strolling with her two children on the shady path near the river, her husband came by in a carriage. Sitting close beside him was an elegant young woman. The ranchero stopped and spoke with his children, but ignored Maria, like she had once done to him before they were married. The ranchero whipped the horses up the street. When she saw how harshly he treated the horses, Maria became enraged, her anger so violent it turned towards and against her children. And although it is sad to tell, the story says that in her anger, Maria seized her two children and threw them into the raging river. As they disappeared somewhere downstream, she came to realize what a horrible thing she had done. She ran down to the bank of the river, reaching out her arms and screaming for them. But they were silent. They did not answer. They were long gone. The next morning, a traveler brought word to the villagers that a beautiful woman lay dead on the bank of the river. It was Maria. The villagers laid her to rest in a grave near where she had fallen. The children were never found. The villagers mourned for Maria and for her children who died by her own hand. But Maria did not rest in peace. In fact, the very first night she lay in her grave, the villagers heard the sound of weeping down by the river. It was not the wind, it was Maria crying, weeping and moaning. Where are my children? Where are my children? And along with the sound of the weeping woman, they would see a woman dressed in a long white robe, the same robe that they dressed Maria in for her burial. On many a dark night, they would see her ghostly figure appear again, walking the riverbank and weeping for her children. And so they no longer spoke of her as Maria. She became La Llorona, the weeping woman. To this day, she is known by that name, and children are warned not to wander in the dark shadows where the ghost of La Llorona lives and lurks. She seeks to snatch young children and claim them as her own. Quietly or forcefully, she takes them to the water where they will forever live in the spirit world as children of La Llorona.
Tell me the duck story.
Bum, 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 ba-dum, ba-dum. A duck walked up to a lemonade stand, and he said to the man, run in the stand, hey, bum, 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 got any grapes? The man said, no, we just sell lemonade, but it's cold and it's fresh and it's all homemade. Can I get you a glass? The duck said, I'll pass. Then he waddled away, waddle, waddle, till the very next day, bum, 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 ba-dum. When the duck walked up to the lemonade stand, and he said to the man, run in the stand, hey, bum, 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 got any grapes? The man said, no, like I said yesterday, we just sell lemonade, okay? Why not give it a try? The duck said, goodbye. Then he waddled away, waddle, waddle. Then he waddled away, waddle, waddle. Then he waddled away, waddle, waddle. next day, bum 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 ba-dum. When the duck walked up to the lemonade stand, and he said to the man running the stand, "Hey, bum bum bum, got any grapes?" The man said, "Look, this is getting old. I mean, lemonade's all we've ever sold. Why not give it a go?" The duck said, "How about no?" Then he waddled away, waddle waddle. Then he waddled away, waddle waddle waddle. Then he waddled away, waddle waddle, till the very next day, bum 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 ba-dum. When the duck walked up to the lemonade stand, and he said to the man running the stand, "Hey, bum bum bum, got any grapes?" The man said, "That's it. If you don't stay away, duck, I'll glue you to a tree and leave you there all day stuck. So don't get too close." The duck said, "Adios." Then he waddled away, waddle waddle. Then he waddled away, waddle waddle waddle. Then he waddled away, waddle waddle, till the very next day, bum 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 ba-dum. When the duck walked up to the lemonade stand, and he said to the man running the stand, "Hey, bum bum bum, got any glue?" "What? Got any glue? No, why would I? Oh, then one more question for you. Got any grapes?" Bum, 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 bum. And the man just stopped. Then he started to smile. He started to laugh. He laughed for a while. He said, "Come on, duck, let's walk to the store. I'll buy you some grapes, so you won't have to ask anymore." So they walked to the store, and the man bought some grapes. He gave one to the duck, and the duck said, "No thanks. But you know what sounds good? It would make my day. Do you think this store? Do you think this store? Do you think this store has any..."
Salías del templo un día, llorona, cuando al pasar yo te vi. Salías del templo un día, llorona, cuando al pasar yo te vi. Hermoso huipil llevabas, llorona, que la Virgen te creí. Hermoso huipil llevabas, llorona, que la Virgen te creí. Salías del templo un día, llorona, cuando al pasar yo te vi. Hermoso huipil llevabas, llorona, que la Virgen te creí. Hermoso huipil llevabas, llorona, que la Virgen te creí. De azul celeste, ay de mi llorona, 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 de azul celeste. No dejaré de quererte, llorona, aunque la vida me cueste. No dejaré de quererte, llorona, aunque la vida me cueste. Dicen que no tengo duelo, llorona, porque no me ven llorar. Dicen que no tengo duelo, llorona, porque no me ven llorar. Hay muertos que no hacen ruido, llorona, y es más grande su pena. Hay muertos que no hacen ruido, llorona, y es más grande su pena. Ay de mi llorona, 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 llévame al río. Ay de mi llorona, 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 llévame al río. Tápame con tu